and gentlemen. I'm up here at Jones Technical Institute again, Diesel Technology, Mark Schaefer, and today we're going to be going over a brake inspection. It's just going to be a brief overview of components, what to look for, and what to notice whenever you're actually going in depth on the insides. So first steps first is we're going to look at a fully assembled brake drum. Then we're going to look at a brake drum off of the actual axle itself. We're going to look at the internal components of a brake drum assembly and look at slack adjusters, S-cams, and other things. And the number one thing that you want to make sure whenever you're doing this is safety. You always want to make sure that the vehicle is supported with jack stands, not just with a jack only. And you want to make sure that you have someone around. That way, if you do drop some of these heavy equipment on you, you do have someone to be able to help you out. So we're going to go ahead and shoot to it. And on the first one, we're going to be looking at a brake drum, fully assembled. You're going to look at your fluids, make sure everything's good, make sure nothing's leaking, because if you do have fluids going onto your brake pads, you're going to have problems with saturation, and it's actually going to ruin the integrity. You're going to go behind, you're going to look at the dust shield, make sure everything's intact, make sure nothing's leaking, no foreign objects are jammed in there. Now we're going to move on to an actual brake drum itself. And on the inside of these brake drums, once you actually get them off of the vehicle, you're going to want to check for heat cracks or anything like that in these. And I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but there are a few heat cracks in this drum assembly. You want to look for uneven wear. See how there's actually rust here? But there's not any rust, the shiny spot over here, that's called uneven wear, and that's from the actual brake drum not being even. You want to look for excessive lip on these brake drums, and that's going to be here and here. Any scoring, you can see the heat checking. If the heat check's over 2 inches long, you want to go ahead and replace the drum itself. You want to check for cracks inside of the hub where the lug actually attaches itself to the wheel. Now we're going to go over S-cams, or slack adjusters. And on slack adjusters, you're just going to make sure that nothing's over-greased. Right here, you actually have your indicator. If your indicator is inside of this notch here, your slack adjuster is okay at the moment. It's adjusted properly. But you want to make sure that once you get done, you actually adjust this. And how you adjust it is here. Slack adjusters make up for minor adjustments, not necessarily the length of the tube or for the push rod. You have your S-cam bracket. From your S-cam bracket, you're actually going to go in to your actual S-cam. What your S-cam does is it actually actuates the pads. It makes the pads go out onto the drum, and as you can see, it actually spreads the pads open. And what you want to look for is any wear of abnormal wear in the S-cam itself, in the S-cam rollers. You want to make sure springs are tight, not broken, the retaining springs. You want to check your web on your actual brake shoe itself. You want to check your pads for any cracks, oil saturation, uneven wear. If you have any uneven wear, what it's going to do is it's going to be smaller on one end than it is in the middle. And it's going to be also different from the other side. The other thing you want to make sure is your ABS tone ring. That's this ring in here. It connects to a connector on the back that'll actually go to your ABS system if it is equipped. Other things that you want to make sure is your other side of your S-cam rollers, or for your cam rollers, I should say, on this side. Your cam rollers, your springs. You want to make sure any of your studs that actually hold the brake drum on the axle are not worn, bent, broken, corroded, or anything like that. And what you want to do is just, really make sure, because these are the lifelines that save people. They stop them and everything else. And DOT really looks at these. So as a mechanic, you want to make sure that everything's good, nothing's corroded, broken. If your brake drum itself has had 2 pads on it already, and you notice that in the mechanic log, you want to go ahead and replace your drum no matter what, because once you get to a certain thickness on these, and actually they go by diameter, and each drum or disc has a certain thickness or measurement that is limited to in order for replacement. And like we said before, your S-cam brackets, you always want to look at lubrications, schedules, things like that. You always want to replace your brake pads with the same brake pads, because you never know what kind of conditions these drivers are going through. There's different materials, different heat settings, and everything else that'll go with these. And you just want to make sure that everything moves freely, nothing's binding up, and such as like here on this S-cam, it's actually leaking through the seal. I don't know if you can see this grease or not, but this is actually leads to a lot of brake failures, is grease. So you want to get all this stuff cleaned up. Once you get these S-cams out, you're going to look for any wear on the from the bushings on the actual S-cam itself. And so that's just kind of like a brief overview right there of what all to look for on these drum brake assemblies on air brake systems. All right, y'all have a good one.